It's not glamorous. There's no turbo whistle or burnout smoke here. But what's inside that engine, that slippery stuff keeping metal from eating metal, can decide whether your car's engine lasts 500,000 miles or taps out before 120,000. And the difference isn't marketing gimmick. It's science, temperature, film strength, and a bit of manufacturer trickery. Let's break it all down, like a proper gearhead with too much coffee. Let's start simple. Those codes, 0W20 and 5W30, aren't random. They're not secret racing specs or magic potions. They tell you how the oil behaves in cold and hot conditions. The first number tells you how easily the oil flows when it's cold, like first thing in the morning when the engine's still half asleep. The W stands for winter, not weight, and the second number shows how thick the oil stays once the engine gets hot. So, 0W20 stays thin and fast in freezing temperatures. 5W30 is a bit thicker at startup, but holds its film better when hot. At operating temperature around 212 degrees Fahrenheit, the 30-weight oil keeps a thicker protective layer, while 20-weight thins out faster. So yes, 0W20 gives you quick lubrication and better cold starts, but 5W30 gives you a sturdier oil film when things heat up. Now, an independent lab ran a 200,000-mile durability test on 50 identical engines. Half used 0W20, the other half used 5W30. Same cars, same conditions, same maintenance. Results? 0W20 showed a 3.2% bump in fuel economy. Not bad. But that came with a 42% increase in bearing wear and 28% higher oil consumption by 150,000 miles. Meanwhile, 5W30 engines were a bit thirstier on fuel but came out cleaner with less piston sludge and tighter timing chains. The verdict? 0W20 wins in short-term efficiency. 5W30 wins the long game. 0W20 is perfect for warranty mileage. 5W30 is perfect for the next 200,000 miles after that. So if thicker oil clearly protects better, why are automakers plastering 0W20 on every new oil cap? Simple. Fuel economy laws. The US CAFE standards penalize carmakers if their fleet's average MPG drops below the target. So what do? They fill millions of cars with thinner oil to squeeze an extra mile per gallon on paper. Toyota even admitted in a 2018 technical bulletin that low-viscosity oil is specifically primarily for fuel economy. It means it's great for the environment report card, not always for your engine. Fun fact, the same engines in Japan or Europe often use 5W30 or even 5W40 for long-term testing. Only North American versions get the 0W20 spec to hit those government targets. Now, before you drain your 0W20 in rage, let's be fair. It has its place. Use 0W20 if you live in a cold climate, say below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You drive short city commutes. You stay on top of oil changes every 5,000 miles or less. You own a modern car built with tight bearing tolerances. Think Toyota, Honda, Mazda, etc. Avoid 0W20 if you drive in hot regions or desert climates. You tow, haul, or do mountain runs. Your engine has over 100,000 miles. You drive hard, often hitting high RPMs. In those situations, 0W20 thins too fast. AMSOIL's 2022 tests found that after just 7,000 miles in turbo engines, some 0W20 oils sheared down to 18 weight. That's dangerously thin, like trying to protect a piston with water. Another thing, car ads love saying thinner oil reduces friction. Technically true, but it's only half the story. Yes, thinner oils flow quicker, but the real magic in lubrication isn't flow, it's film strength. That microscopic oil layer between two metal surfaces prevents metal-on-metal contact. And film strength comes from viscosity and ZDDP additives. Thinner oils rely more heavily on additives, and those additives burn off faster. After 5,000 miles, most 0W20 oils lose nearly 40% of their ZDDP layer, while 5W30 retains most of it. So, thinner oil doesn't just wear your engine faster, it wears itself out faster too. Inside every engine, there's a furnace you never see, the area between the piston rings and cylinder walls. Temperatures here can exceed 500 degrees Fahrenheit, especially in turbocharged or direct injection engines. 0W20 starts losing its film strength around 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that happens, microscopic metal contact begins and wear skyrockets. During the teardown of the 50 engine test, the difference was obvious. 0W20 engines had piston scuffing and dark varnish. 5W30 engines looked cleaner, smoother, and healthier. At operating temperature, 5W30's protective film is just about 35% thicker than 0W20's. That might sound tiny, but that microlayer can mean the difference between smooth running and metal grinding. And it gets worse for hybrids. Their engines shut off and restart repeatedly, meaning oil pressure drops and builds again every few minutes. Each restart means bare metal contact until oil pressure rebuilds. That's why Toyota quietly suggests switching hybrids to 5W30 after 100,000 miles, even though the cap still says 0W20. And if your car burns oil between changes, don't blame the car, blame the oil. 0W20 evaporates faster under heat. Tests show it can lose up to 13% of its mass in 10 hours at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, while 5W30 loses only about 7%. That vapor doesn't vanish. It goes through the PCV system, coating your intake valves and choking your catalytic converter. And that's not all. Thin oils mean less hydraulic tension or pressure, which causes timing chain elongation. Nissan's 2020 bulletin confirmed that engines using 0W20 long-term had timing chains stretched by up to 2.5 millimeters beyond spec. Switching to 5W30 instantly slowed the wear rate. So if you hear a light rattle or ticking noise at startup, it's not old age. It's your oil waving a white flag. Also, turbocharged engines are brutal. The turbo spins at over 150,000 RPM, and oil is its only coolant. 0W20 can survive mild turbo use, but in hot climates or during long highway drives, it thins out fast, sometimes to 16 weight within 3,000 miles. Once that happens, turbo bearings lose their cushion and start grinding. And when that happens, say goodbye to your bank account. That's why Garrett and Borg-Warner, two of the biggest turbo manufacturers in the world, both recommend 30 weight or higher oils for turbo durability. If you're driving something boosted, Subaru WRX, Ford EcoBoost, or anything with a snarl, skip 0W20. It's not built for that heat. And there's a middle ground most people don't talk about, 0W30. So here it is straight. 0W20 is great for efficiency, 5W30 is great for longevity. Manufacturers remember 0W20 not because it's best for your engine, but because it helps them meet government MPG targets. Next time you see that oil cap, remember, it's just a guideline, not gospel. Engines aren't one size fits all. Some prefer thin oil for efficiency, others thick for durability. Choose based on how you drive, not just the label. And if someone says oil doesn't matter, just smile. You know better now. Keep your oil clean, your revs high, and your wallet safe. See you in the next one.